3 of them, tithing, fasting, and the sacred meal or feast, govern the work and pleasures of our bodies. The other 4 practices, fixed hour prayer, the keeping of Sabbath, the observance of the liturgical year, and pilgrimage, monitor or sacramentalize time, that other dimension in which we live while here. Pilgrimage, the 7th and last of the ancient practices, governs and informs and indeed sacramentalizes the largest unit of human time, the span of one's individual life on earth. As Phileena Heuertz makes very clear in these pages, one of the unfortunate, necessary at the time but subsequently unfortunate changes that the Protestant Reformation effected was the more or less active suppression of the practices. While emphasizing the keeping of the Sabbath and tithing, Protestantism merely tipped its hat at fasting, while energetically discouraging over much concern with the sacred meal or feast, the daily offices, the close observation of the liturgical year, and of course that most dangerous discipline of all, pilgrimage. Pilgrimage was dangerous, in the minds of early Protestant reformers, not so much for religious or spiritual reasons, but for political ones. Pilgrimage within the West was inevitably made to Roman Catholic sites. There were, in point of fact, no other real options, unless one considered that Jerusalem had retained some degree of non-Catholicized Christianity. But that, too, was a highly debatable question. And thus it was that pilgrimage became, in many ways, the greatest victim of the new ways. Formation in the faith went from lived and physically disciplined experience to reasoned and intellectualized understanding. But the times they are a-changin'. Or more correctly said, the times they have changed. Now younger Christians are looking at the 7 ancient practices and wondering aloud whether the abnegation of them can even be justified now. Wondering aloud, and in books like this one, about how we can not only return to our formational heritage, but how we can also blend that heritage with the heritage of reasoned theology and intellectual rigor that has come to us from our more recent forebears in the faith. What we get when younger and devout Christians, of whom Phileena is most certainly one of the more articulate, ask these questions is often startling and even agonizing. In this particularly startling, agonizing book, Phileena explores the sacramentalization of time, drawing from her experience on pilgrimage in Spain and on sabbatical in North Carolina. But even these very special physical settings are, for Phileena and for all of us really, in some ways better understood as windows into a more interior journey, the soul's pilgrimage through time. The special grace of the journey that Phileena leads us on in this book entails the reconciliation of each season of life with the next, and the hope that accompanies the agony we may experience as we exit one season in order to enter another. We are guided by Phileena in this book, but she ably reminds us that in our soul's pilgrimage we are guided by one whose ways are higher than ours. Enter gently, then, for this is a tender book, even while at the same time it is a sinewy one. There is a candor here that makes one want to whisper, and there is a vigor of faith and a determination to live Christian that makes one want to shout. If anyone among us yearns to see what post-Reformation, 21st century Christianity is leading to, then let him or her follow Phileena on El Camino de Santiago in Spain, and after that to the Rose Cottage in North Carolina. But go easy and follow softly, for there is much pain here as well as much glory. 500 years of interruption are ending, and new ways are blending in with the power of old ways. What we shall be and what we shall become as a result of that reunion are whispering here. Listen, listen and hear. Poetry by Pablo Neruda. And it was at that age, poetry arrived in search of me. I don't know where it came from winter or a river. I don't know how or when. No, they were not voices, they were not words nor silence, but from a street I was summoned, from the branches of night, abruptly from the others, among violent fires, or returning alone. There I was, without a face, and it touched me. I did not know what to say. My mouth had no